Okay, so there is a video that's very, very interesting, and I felt I need to share with you. I'm right here sitting in my convertible. I had to say it, my convertible. Feels good. Woo, look at you see that? You see that? Crazy. Anyway, so it's kind of raining as well, you know, it's like dripping and stuff, but because I love you so much, I have to share this with you. There's a very interesting video that I saw online, was recommended to me, by the way. So it's an Afrikaner. Okay, an Afrikaner. Afrikaners are white people in South Africa, a group of white people, because there are many types of white people in South Africa. Afrikaners are the Boers. These are farmers. These are some of the white people that came to South Africa many, many years ago. And they came to South Africa with the goal of staying, unlike white people from other places in Africa. Okay, so let's listen to this man, and I'm going to make a comment right after. Let's go.
We are the Boers. We are a very proud nation. We are the white tribe of Africa. And we are here to show the people today. We're going to make our stand in this country. There's certain parts of this country that is our rights.
We are here to stay. Okay, I don't want to misquote him, but something along those lines. We are here to make sure you understand that. I don't want to misquote him, but I think it's something very similar. And I don't know how you feel about this. How do you feel about this? We are the Boers. We are the white tribe of Africa. How do you feel about that? I mean, I've seen some reactions online. People speaking out saying, how dare you say that? How dare you say you are the white tribe of Africa? Are they supposed to be Boers or white people in Africa as a tribe? I think it's very interesting. Well, they came apparently, as per history, many, many years ago, looking to conquer new lands. And they felt like Africa was one of those lands where they could go and relocate. Now, once again, the difference between white people of South Africa and white people in other places in Africa is that white people of South Africa came to stay. White people in other places in Africa, whether it's Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, Ghana, and all that places that came, Congo, they came to steal and go. They came for minerals. They came for the goods. They came to take and leave. They came for rubber. You know, white people of South Africa came to stay. The difference is this: when you go to many African places, you will see some of the infrastructure. If you look at the road, some of the best roads in many countries in Africa, if you look very carefully, you'll notice some of the best roads come from a mining town to the sea, or from the forest for timber to the sea. Why? Because the goal was to mine as much as possible and go to the sea and export. Some of the best roads in your country, if you're in Africa, are the roads that come from a mining town or a rich town, a gold town, diamonds town, timber town to the sea. So it wasn't built because they liked you. It was built so they can steal and go. South Africa is different. We can look at the infrastructure. This is South Africa for you. It's a beautiful place. Sometimes you can mistake it with some European countries. It's very good, but it's a pride of South Africans as well, whites and blacks. So everybody profits from it. White people of South Africa came to stay because they felt they found a new land. They were not looking to steal and leave. But coming to stay, they decided to infuse the idea of building, even though they use black South Africans as an end to manufacture, to build, to put together the buildings. The engineers behind the building and the infrastructure were white. So they were building this for themselves. It's raining, fellas. Jeez, this is crazy. I don't know if I should have stopped the video or should I need to continue because I'm hot right now. The buildings were there for them. They did not build for black people. They built for them because their objective was, let's build. Okay, we're going to build for ourselves. And these blacks will never have freedom. They will always work for us. But unfortunately for them, and very good for black people of South Africa, they worked hard. And in 1994, after Mandela came out of jail, things changed through elections where black people of South Africa took over power. And today, South Africa is a free land. Unlike many African nations that got independence in the 1960s, South Africa in 1994 became free. And black South Africa emerged as some of the most powerful nations in Africa. However, the Boers are still in Africa. And for what's known, a lot of them don't necessarily want to be associated with black South Africans. The Boers are the farmers. The Boers are the agriculturists. They produce food, they produce goods and many other things for South Africa. Most of the foods that black South Africans and whites eat in South Africa are produced by the Boers. Now, my question is this. There are many people that are very angered about this video because they feel like this person shouldn't be allowing himself to speak that way, because for one, he's not African because he's of skin color. For two, for all the negative things they had done to the black people of Africa. I mean, not them, but their forefathers. They beat the blacks. They mistreated the blacks. They did not allow the black people of walking through the streets as free human beings. They were mistreated. You know, they needed a passport to leave one area of town to another area. You need to have a passport. So if you have your auntie, your cousins, or your nephews living on the other side of town, you need a passport in your own country to go to the other side. So many people are angered by this person's confidence, let me say it, confidence of saying, we are the white tribe of Africa. We are to be recognized. Now I want to know how you feel about this. Because for one, can this person say he's part of a white tribe in Africa? Is he allowed to say so? Number two, if he's not allowed, why was he not allowed? Because his forefathers did bad things in Africa. Number three, if his forefathers did bad things to Africans in Africa, does he have to pay the repercussions of what his forefathers did many years ago? Number four, if he is a Boer, probably a farmer, or come from a family of farmers, would black people refuse to eat his food because the food comes from a white person who did wrong things to the black people? Or they will eat anyway. They will hate on them but still eat their food. I'm just being honest, because let me remind you here, the majority of land in South Africa are within the control of white people. Even though South Africa, in the majority, it's black people. Now, talking about tribes, this is not limited to South Africa. If you go to Uganda and Kenya, there are tribes of Bahindi. Bahindis are Indians that came from India many years ago. They brought them by force by the British when the British were trying to build a railroad from Mombasa to Kampala. Mombasa is here, look at Mombasa. Mombasa is Kenya, Kampala is Uganda. Mombasa is the port, it's the sea, it's the export. Kampala is inside Uganda. So they needed the railroads, again, in order for them to steal goods, woods, ivory. It needed to leave from Kampala, Uganda to Kenya very quickly. And for that, they built the railroad. Now, for whatever reason, they chose to bring in Indians and not to use black people to build this road. Now, I'm asking my question. Why did the white people of that time choose to bring in Indians to build the road and not use black people to do the same? Was that because they felt black people were not good enough, not smart enough? Question mark. Well, they did the same in South Africa. They brought in many Indians to work the land, apparently because some of the black people at the time refused to work, or because they were not adequate. We don't know. Now, the other question is this one. In the United States of America, you see white and black people. Well, black people in America, some of them at least, say they are native to America. They say they belong. They did not come from Africa. They are not African Americans. They are Americans because they believe their forefathers were in America before Christopher Columbus or whoever you call that guy came to America. So you do not mix them with Africans. And I understand that comes with a lot of conflict between those black people who believe they were initially in America and black people who believe they came from Africa. Now, can a black American say I'm native or I belong to America? Can a black American say I'm American even though I was brought in America from Africa by my forefathers or by force? Can a black American have the same right as a white American even though he was brought in by force? It was not his choice. We're trying to be straight here. Now, if a black American can say I'm American, I should enjoy all the rights as American. Shouldn't a white South African or Boer say I'm an African white man with pride? Oh, this only applies for black Americans and not for white Africans. Again, we do not forget what black people in general lived as difficulties in the hand of white people in Africa. They did the wrong things all across Africa. From Egypt to Morocco, Nigeria, Guinea, Congo, Uganda, all across to South Africa, black people have suffered within the hand of white people. But my question is this: are white South Africans accepted in South Africa or are they not? If you go back a little bit, you would see when this young girl from South Africa / Nigeria Miss Universe Chidima Adesina, do you remember? That was supposedly born of a South African woman and a Nigerian man. Later on, it was found out that wasn't the case. The case continues, but because there's no conclusion. That young girl was rejected by the nation, even though she looked dark. In The Prophet of a White Lady, Leroux, who was gladly represented and accepted and acclaimed by black South Africans. Black South Africans say, we like Leroux because she's one of us. She will represent us with pride, right? We like Leroux. She's one of us. At least she's not illegal. But if you like Leroux, why do you hate this guy? I'm just asking. If you like Leroux, you acclaim him, you say she's one of you. Why do you hate this guy? Because he's one of, isn't Leroux part of the tribe? The white tribe in South Africa? You need to have one narrative. You can't say you like Leroux, then you hate this guy. It makes no sense. You either hate this guy and hate Leroux, or like Leroux and like this guy at the same token. Adesina, illegal or not, she could not have been part of the crime because she wasn't born when things happened. We cannot ignore that. But she was kicked out and rushed out and pushed out. You don't speak any of the language. You don't belong here, even though you're dark. We don't look like you. We don't carry yourself. I don't know if it was the hatred of Adesina or was it the hatred of Nigerians. Many people believe it's maybe the hatred of Nigerians because South Africans don't like Nigerians very much. Okay, there's a group of South African blacks, and not all black South African. Very specific group of black South Africans don't like Nigerians very much. And those ones, in most cases, they say allegedly it's the Zulus. They don't like Nigerians because they're competitors, because Nigerians, some say Nigerians bring drugs, they sell drugs to youngsters. Some say Nigerians like the women, and the women like the Nigerians back because Nigerians give money, and black South Africans don't like doing that very much. So the Nigerians have opened the mind of black South African women into lacking things and a much better treatment in terms of economics. And the black South Africans don't like that. Now, was that the reason? For sure, we don't know. Some people say Nigerians deal drugs and stuff like that. And the simple fact that Chidima is issued of a Nigerian union with whoever in the world, because there's Nigeria in there, they don't like it. The question is this. If Leroux was acclaimed and accepted and glorified, why isn't this guy acclaimed and accepted? He didn't say anything wrong like that. He only said, we are the white tribe of Africa. We are the Boers. Leroux is the white tribe of South Africa. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. Can Americans, black people, say we are Americans, we belong here with pride and not be pursued or persecuted? Now, if American black people can say that, why should the white person who came to South Africa, not by his own means, but through his forefathers, maybe by force, why shouldn't that person say, I'm proud white person? Or is that a problem only because those white people don't want to mingle with black people? Then that poses a problem. So if those people said, okay, we cool with you, let's come and have a party together, then they could belong, they could be part of a tribe. But just because they say, okay, we are the white tribe, we just don't want to mix with you guys because we feel we're better than you, that poses a problem. Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.